Hey guys, sorry for the awkward music in and outs. I am working on making sure that we are streaming, and we are good. We're streaming live on Facebook. All right, Mom, take it away.
Hey everyone, I'm so glad to welcome you and so glad to see your pretty faces tonight. So excited that we can chat about something so dynamic and so important as our health, especially in particular our weight journey. And what I love about this topic is that every single one of us, no matter where we are, no matter what weight, what age we are, what gender, no matter where we live, we all have something in common. And that is that we have to eat every single day. We're making choices, and those choices are impacting our life. And so I'm so thrilled tonight because we're not really going to focus on this. We're not trying to give you an eating plan. We're not trying to diagnose you and force you into something. What we're really going to do is dialogue about healthy practices, essential oils that can really help support your journey. We're not looking for a fast. Like if there was a magic pill, we'd probably be all about it, but there's no magic pill. There's no magic oil. And while we know they are magical, we're not trying to sprinkle a few drops of oil on you to solve this problem. We're trying to, honestly, our heart is to collaborate, to empower, to encourage, so that at the end of this call, you have a kind of like an idea list, a protocol of sorts, so that you can hit the ground running with the goals that you have, whatever they may be. Some of you might want to gain weight. Some of you might want to lose weight. Some of you might want to be putting on muscle. Some of you might be wanting to detox. Some of you might be wanting to love on your livers. There are all kind of goals wrapped up in here. And so I feel so honored to kind of lead us off and to welcome tonight Eli Shipley. He happens to be my son-in-law, but he's also a really dear friend. He is a phenomenal coach. He can take your goals and help you masterfully put a plan together. And so, Eli, I'm going to let you start off. Tell us about your journey and what you have for us.
Okay, I will. You want to take her?
Yeah.
Okay, so my name's Eli Shipley, and I'm a nerd when it comes to like diet and like what's going in your body and what you're using to fuel yourself to feel the best. And that's what it's kind of always. You want me to there?
Sure. Yeah. That'd be perfect. Just in case she gets crazy, I want her to be able to peace out.
Yeah. So it started for me when I was like 13 years old, and I kind of watched my mom go through all sorts of diet plans, programs, like groups and like classes on diet. And for me and my mom, we struggled a little bit more with weight than the rest of my family did. So I remember it being always a thing that I was kind of interested in because I could tell the difference, especially getting closer to, 14, 15. I was noticing that I was more overweight than my siblings were, and we kind of ate the same things. And so it was an interesting thing to follow along. So anyways, when I was 13, almost 14, I was about 5'5", and I weighed about 270 pounds. And that's pretty big for 5'5". I was eating very poorly. Our whole family ate poorly. And like I said, my mom was kind of like in and out on diets and trying to do anything she could to learn like how to lose weight or something that worked, something that felt good. And we started together a diet at that time because I wanted to do it with her because like I said, I've kind of always been intrigued in this stuff. And so we started, and it was, the first 6 weeks were really, really tough, and mainly tough in the emotional side, or the, busy thought side of changing the way that I was eating and figuring out how to deal with all of that, how to deal with all the feelings of like not being able to eat the foods that my family was eating and not being able to go through drive-throughs like we used to. And like, it was weird for me at that age to be feeling all these things and like wondering like why I'm feeling these things, and if it's because of the way that I'm eating, or if it's because of, like there's so many different reasons. So in that journey, like like I said, the first 6 weeks was tough, and it was tough for different reasons. I stuck with it. My mom ended up stopping after maybe the first segment or the first series, and I kept going just because I was noticing results. And so by the time that I was 15, I was now 6 foot tall, and I was weighing about 195 pounds. So while I was growing, I was still losing weight and also putting on muscle at the same time, because I was interested in lifting weights and fitness in that area. So yeah, it was a huge transformation for me. And I learned so much through the process. And the diet that I used to lose that weight is not anywhere close to the diet that I'm on today. And that's important to note, I feel like, because like there are so many stages that I've been through in diet, and like there's no like wrong or right diet. I mean, like everyone has the diet that's working for them, and that's awesome. And I like the diet that I'm on right now, and I'm loving it. But there were so many different diets that I did, and they all showed results, and there was learning experiences and all of the things all of the programs that I followed, and all of the people that I've been, watching and researching and figuring out like what it is that like I'm settling into now. I feel like the diet that I'm settling into now. And so regardless of what you're on or what you're trying to do, like Sonia said, we're just here to collaborate. And for me personally, I'm here to kind of give you a look into the emotional side of dieting and eating that I've been through for the last however many years. It's been a while now that I've been kind of paying attention to how I'm thinking and feeling about the way that I am dieting or eating, and how, like I make my way through the world and still continue to maybe eat differently than other people or eat differently than my family. So the main thing that I want to start with is trouble spots. And we all know, if we've done diets or we've been on and off diets and tried to lose weight and gain weight back, we all know the emotions and the thoughts that come along with that. And that's kind of what I want to get into. And I want to help make you more aware of that internal voice that's in your head that is like, driving your decisions, and a lot of times without you even knowing it or being under control of that. And how the mind is so crafty in helping us get what maybe we think we want or we think we need, and using an external thing as far as like diet or food to feel a certain way. And so the number one point that I have here is making sure not to forget, don't forget to separate your busy mind and the thoughts that come, the thoughts that come up in reaction to the world we live in, with like actual reality and actual like goals or desires or focuses on like diet specific. So what I mean by that is we're always wanting, for me, I feel like we want to feel love, feel joy, feel happiness, like all of the good things. Like that's what I'm personally seeking. And I feel like the mind sometimes can be reacting to the world that's coming in and trying to like think and adjust and analytically like manipulate the world to help me feel joy, to help me feel happiness, to help me feel, peace or whatever it is that I'm going for. But a lot of times the mind is using external things to help us feel that way, when in reality, the external things are not at all what's going to help us feel that way in the long term. They might be a pattern interrupter. They might be, like a brief, good taste or a brief, enjoyment, but they're not giving us what we think or what we're going to them for, if that makes sense. So the next point is like, the next thing I want to do is kind of give scenarios on what I mean by that. And for me, say I am in the holiday season, and maybe I'm on a diet, maybe I'm not on a diet, or maybe I'm just like in my mind thinking, I want to eat better foods, I want to feel better. And there is food out, or you're at a gathering, or you're making something for a gathering, and there's food there that you're not really wanting to eat personally. Maybe you're bringing it somewhere. And a lot of times for me, I can start to get in just this battle in my head without even knowing it, without even realizing it, thinking like, oh, I want that, but no, I don't want this, or maybe I'll have one, or I probably don't want one. Like, and it's just like a constant thing until something happens. Either I eat what's there, or I use some of the strategies that I'm going to tell to become aware of the battle that's happening and be mindful of what I'm thinking and why I'm thinking it, and maybe help myself realize that, you know, like what I'm looking to feel is not going to be, you know, fixed by eating that thing. And in reality, like what I'm wanting to feel is never going to come from an external place. And so I feel like that's huge. Just becoming aware, first of all, that we are having those thoughts and starting to deal with some of those battles that go crazy. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we end up eating something, or we end up, you know, like going off of our plan, which then can cause all sorts of different emotions and feelings behind our diet and our eating style. The second one would be like, which Bethany mentioned this one to me, when you do end up eating something that you don't want to, and you're on a diet, or you set a goal for a certain amount of weight loss, or you set a goal for a certain amount of weight gain or strength or whatever, and you're eating something, or you just ate something that you're like, like I didn't really want that. And when you got done, you're like, I mean, sure, it tasted good, but it's like, you know, almost that immediate, like, that's not what I wanted. And instead of like beating yourself up, or like feeling that feeling of like, oh, I just lost it, or I just broke, or I just, you know, like, instead of doing that, like refocusing on what it is that you actually want. And those moments are the best learning moments for me personally, to where it's like, when you can be like true with yourself on what you actually want to accomplish. And when you can realize when you do like end up eating food that's not moving you towards your goals, you can quickly realize like, that's not what I wanted. Like, and it's okay. Like, it's not, I didn't, you know, like lose just then. I didn't like forsake everything that I was going for. But you do have to refocus your mindset and work on getting back to a good reason for eating the way that you want to be eating, rather than just like it be shame, or be guilt, or be because you want to, you know, look a certain way, or because, you know, like all of those things can help motivate and help encourage when you see progress along the way. But there is a better reason for doing this, and it's, you know, it's for overall health, and it's for a much bigger purpose. So a lot of times too, and I know that my mom expressed this to me when we were dealing with, you know, like when she was going through all sorts of different diets and styles, and she would go on something, and then she would stop, and she'd gain weight back, and she'd be so frustrated, and then she'd go on something else, and then she would, you know, end up, you know, changing and gaining weight back. And like every time she did that, she would tell me that she was like losing trust in herself, and losing trust that she could actually stick with anything. And so the diet that I'm currently on is the one that she's been doing lately and been doing a great job at. And, you know, she's lost a lot of weight. She has increased, you know, blood sugar numbers and blood pressure numbers. And she's done it, you know, with, I feel like a different mindset than she's ever done it before. And it's been, you know, just like care for her body. Like her body has done so good for her over the years, and it's put up with a lot of, you know, bad eating habits, and, you know, some of those signs are starting to show. So I feel like her reasons for change this time have been better, and I feel like that made a huge difference in how she's been able to stick with it. Another one real quick is, when you do decide to change the way you eat and mess with the amount of calories that's coming in, or mess with the types of food that are coming in, it's going to be a change, and it's going to affect you more than just physically. And it has the ability to, create kind of like a down feeling, a feeling that maybe you're thinking, I don't, it's annoying that you can't eat the same foods that other people can eat, and you gain weight and they don't. It's not, it's not fair, or it's not fun to go through the holiday season and not have foods that taste so good and that remind you of, your childhood memories. And, it's like, it can be like, breaking bad habits can be sad sometimes. Breaking bad habits can be, real tough. And so, real quick, like being okay with those feelings, let them happen. And at the same time, like when you feel these feelings and when you feel defeat, when you feel scared to start something, when you feel whatever it is, like having some protocols and having some ideas that can help kind of refresh your mindset and get you back on track. So one that I love, and this is oil specific, and it's just a topical use. And there's 3 oils. So when I'm ever like realizing that those battles are going on in my head and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with them, I want to be aware of that, and I want to use these oils to help me remember like what it is that I'm doing. And these oils have specific, purposes, and you can look at that later. Maybe Sonia will even talk about that. But the 3 that I have are citrus fresh, peppermint, and lavender. And I just put 2 to 3 drops of those on my wrists and on my neck, and I can even smell them a little bit. But it's just kind of like a recentering or refocusing on what it is that I want to do and what it is that I'm going for. And it's also an awareness of the battles that go on inside your head, and that voice that's always running to try to either persuade you or talk you into, just having a cheat meal or having, something that's going to throw you off track a little bit. And so it's just kind of a recentering. The next one is going to be a diffuser recipe. And this one could be going pretty much all the time, but for those situations where you're feeling maybe discouraged, or you haven't seen results, or you have seen results and you're feeling like you want to splurge a little bit, and like all those thoughts that can happen in the mind to be kind of eased, and for that stress to be relaxed, or to relax a little bit into the idea of the diet that you're going for. The diffuser recipe would be joy, and I usually do like 5 to 10 drops. It depends. Northern Lights black spruce, do like 5 drops of that. And then peace and calming, same thing, like 5 to 10 drops. And that's a lot in there, but I just love dumping them in there because it smells so good. But using that one and having it running all the time as you're starting this new approach to a different diet, whatever it may be, has been awesome for me. And I love that. The last one real quick would be supplements. And this one is specifically for when you have started and you're 10 days in and you're feeling a little bit sad, a little bit down, a little bit like, is it working? Like, is this the right diet? Like you're starting to, just kind of get in that little battle zone. The supplements that I feel like help for me the most with energy and in that stage would be Super B, Omega Gies, Essential Zymes 4, and Thiamin. I feel like for me personally, those have been the biggest boosts in energy and the ones that have helped me kind of stay on track and stay focused on what it is that I'm going for. And that's it. That's kind of all I wanted to cover. Go back to you, Sonia.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Eli. I know that I speak for everyone when I just want to say thanks for sharing your story and giving us some kind of practical things. And I'm going to continue on that vein and just kind of walk through a few protocols and things that have helped so many people in this journey along the way. So stick with us. And I have an offer at the end, so stay tuned. We're going to kind of wrap this up in a collaborative kind of way. So for those of you who are jumping onto this call and you're not yet familiar with essential oils, what's so dynamic about this is that whether it's a tree or bark or root or the powerful leaves of a plant or the flower, those botanicals distilled can bring forth a liquid. We call them essential oils, and they have the power to affect us. And I'm going to actually have some notes here, and I want to make sure I don't forget to say this, but they have anti-inflammatory properties. antimicrobial, antiseptic. And when you're talking about this specific topic, I would be remiss if I did not include and tell you they also have fat burning abilities. They also can alleviate, help encourage your body to curb cravings. And so as Eli chatted and told us about this emotional journey that you're going to be on when you decide to change something. And I wrote this down. He said, breaking bad habits can feel bad, right? For a while, it can feel bad. So to preempt that and to have some things in your arsenal in terms of what essential oils to use, he talked about joy, and I'm going to share a few that I love to use. Let's not forget that we're not just talking about a pattern interrupt in the brain of just smelling something. We're talking about the organic compounds in that oil that can actually do rearrangement type abilities in the brain, the way it's functioning, the way you're thinking. I just grabbed the grapefruit oil, and David gave it a good deep sniff, because grapefruit oil can help not only curbing appetite, it can uplift your mood. So when you're talking about making changes like this, having essential oils and a diffuser, having this ready to go is just a dynamic preemptive strike, so to speak. All right, how do oils work for weight management? How can we utilize them every day? We know a lot about aromatherapy. You've probably heard a lot about it, how it helps balance and support your body and hormone balance. That was huge for me. That's been so huge for me. It can have a huge impact on your physical body, but also, of course, your mental state, like Eli talked about. But listen, there are receptors in the human nose that can perceive over 1 trillion different smells and can actually communicate with the hippocampus and the amygdala in the brain. These are key areas that are responsible for storing memories and emotions. So when essential oil molecules are inhaled, the research suggests that these areas are stimulated and creates this effect of our mood, our heart rate, our stress level, our blood pressure, our sleep, our motivation. So as Eli mentioned, you have this idea and this thought, and then you have maybe a little bit of a pushback in the brain, and you pick up an oil and you open it up and you decide to give yourself a good solid minute of deep inhalation of that oil, you have just solidified and attached the compounds and strength of what that oil has to offer to you. You've attached it to your intention, to your vision, to your focus. It's not just a pattern interrupt, it's reinforcements. So it is really an important conversation to have, not just that it's a good smell, but that those organic compounds can do so much in the brain. All right, so let's talk a little bit about a few things that I think have been so monumental. Number one, water intake. No matter what diet you decide to follow, no matter what protocol, no matter what eating style you decide to do, even for a short season, we're all drinking water. We're all wanting to drink usually more water. And, whatever your body weight is, you're going to cut that in half, at least do that many ounces a day. That's going to help flush your system. It's going to help your lymph movement, like exercise will. Water will help flush. If you're helping, especially using those detoxifying oils like lemon, which I love all the citrus oils in my water every day. But if you add grapefruit, peppermint, and lemon, 2 to 3 drops of each of those into your big water container, and you do that a couple of times a day, I'm so surprised at how much more water you can drink. So that's number one. Get that water going and get these essential oils in there. 2 to 3 drops of grapefruit, peppermint, and lemon will not only do its magic in your digestion, your metabolism, but it will really taste good without any artificial sweeteners, without anything that's going to affect your blood sugar negatively. It's actually going to enhance and increase your and support your pancreas and its ability to do what it's designed to do. Number 2, we can't talk about weight management and not talk about gut health. And gut health has been really key for me. Just because everybody has a different weight loss story or weight gain story or weight balance story. We're all different in the way and what we are trying to accomplish, but we all have this in common, that we need the right microbiome happening. So I'm totally going to suggest that you get the Life9 probiotic happening, and that's Young Living. It's an amazing support. I'm not going to, we have limited time, so I'm not going to go into all the benefits, but it is actually so much, I'm just going to say it's so much better than what's out there on the market, the way it's sourced, what it does for you. Secondly, enzymes. So when we're talking about the gut, we want to do Life9 probiotic and an enzyme. I personally am using Allerzyme, but we also have one called Detoxzyme. If you want to just take, you just want to order one thing to have your vitamins, supplements, probiotics all together, enzymes together, you're going to do the master formula, and you would be set with that, which I really love that they have that all ready to go in little packets for you. It's called the master formula. So that's going to be really key. Your water intake, your gut health. And then number 3, hormone balance. I know I always talk about hormones, but literally you can do so many things right in terms of what you're eating. Massive amounts of vegetables, massive amounts of what you determine it maybe in the past worked so great for you. And you get those hormones flip-flopped, messed up, it's probably not going to work for you now. It's probably not going to work. As we fluctuate in hormones and our body struggles with that balance, our weight is a byproduct of that. Our struggle, our fat storage in places we don't want it is a byproduct of that. So what do we do for hormone support? For men, I'm going to suggest I'm just going to say Powergize, Idaho Blue Spruce or Northern Lights Black Spruce, Shutron would be great. For women, specifically those who are dealing with, maybe painful periods and monthly issues, or if you're someone who is maybe in menopause and going through that season of life, Progessence Plus, Endoflex, Sclerescence. And I'm going to try to do a graphic to give you these because I know if you're taking notes. And I also do Idaho Blue Spruce because women also need good, healthy testosterone support. Good libido is attached to that. So Endoflex, I want to pause for just a second because no matter if you could have gone through menopause or not been through menopause or not have hormonal female imbalances, but you still could struggle with energy, cortisol levels being too high, which that's partly your adrenal issues that are on top of your kidneys. Endoflex is a blend of oils combined specifically to address this. So even if you did not want to do anything on the female-male hormone front, but you needed some help in this arena, you might want to consider Endoflex. I use it every single day topically on my body, 2 to 3 drops 2 times a day. And I also take it internally. It comes in our Vitality line. So I know I can use this bottle. And I do 2 to 3 drops internally every day. You could do more than that. You could do less than that. You're going to be listening to your body for how it's working. But I'm telling you, a good metabolism is attached to your adrenal glands, to the right amount of cortisol. I also love doing the Cortistop. It is, since I've had adrenal fatigue and it's bottomed out in my life due to all my some health challenges. I'm someone who has to really be attentive to what my adrenals are doing and saying. And I've had seasons in my life where I had no cortisol, like detrimental, like having to go on medications for that. And I've had seasons where I've had too high. So Endoflex and Cortistop are 2 that really specifically can help you in this weight management. No matter where you find yourself, it's going to help your body gain some balance. And then last but not least, I don't want to forego mentioning this. Eli and I were chatting about this today. No matter what eating plan you choose, you're going to be so glad if you can take out the processed foods, take out the sugar, and replace it with nutrient dense choices. And no matter what plan you choose, almost everybody agrees on that. And so if we're talking about like water, getting our mindset right, having the energy and supporting our body with supplements, and then choosing really good for you foods, it's really curious. You can eat a ton of good for you foods. Like, you can eat big old bags of broccoli steamed, right? You could eat tons of that and nobody's really going to be down your throat about it, right? You can just eat your weight in that broccoli. It's nice to know that you do not have to be deprived to take care of yourself. You can learn, your palate can change. It literally, you have to get through that sadness part that Eli was talking about. Breaking bad habits can feel bad for a while, but then there's this switch as your body becomes more full of life, more effervescent, more energetic. There's then a new dynamic relationship with food that empowers you. It moves you forward to keep on track because you are remembering what it was like. Whatever you were doing before wasn't working for you. And if what you start doing starts working for you on the health front, whether this is weight or metabolism or whatever we're looking to accomplish, that is what fuels you to keep it up. So in light of that, we have some oils. I've talked about grapefruit. I have a zillion notes that I don't have time for. How are we doing for time? We're already out of time. So I'm going to do a graphic and give you the spotlight of these oils that I love using and why. And I want to actually offer and extend an invitation. David and myself, my husband and myself, possibly Eli, I don't know who else is going to want to join us. We're doing a 9-day focus in January. It's 9 days. It's a cleanse specifically designed to help your liver, but it will also get you on track for eating a lot of vegetables, things that are good for you. And it's not, I don't want to say it's not hard. It's not hard because you get to eat on this. This is not something that is a cleanse where you don't eat. This is an eating cleanse, but it's 9-day focus. And I want to invite you, if you want to get some more information, to join us in January, probably going to be about January 3rd. I want you to text the word healthy, HEALTHY, to this number, 850. Let me get it, 850-972-2471. Somebody put it in the comments for us. Text the word healthy to, thank you, April, 850-972-2471. And we will kind of form a little community and do it together. And on this front, if you have not yet gotten your starter kit with Young Living, now is the time, because we have this amazing bundle called the Holiday Bundle, where you get a little diffuser and where's my little bag? Let me show it to you. Hang on. Look at this little bag, y'all. Look at this adorable bag. You get this bag to carry your diffuser and your oils. It's called the Holiday Bundle, Holiday Starter Bundle. You get bergamot, you get grapefruit, you get frankincense, you get a whole bunch of oils that you are going to use during this process of learning how to support your system and getting into a healthy weight. You're going to absolutely love it. It's called the Holiday Starter Bundle. The person who invited you to this class has a member number that they will share with you so that you can kind of get connected in our team for this reason. We want you to be empowered, encouraged. We have some gifts for you along the way. So make sure that you get connected with the person who invited you here, and we will hook you up with the best, most amazing essential oils, the purest essential oils on the planet. That's why they work. All right, we'll let you go. Talk to you soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.